news cycle, and impacts of issues like climate change and affordability hit home for a lot of British Columbians. Well, today we want to hear about the little things that are bringing you happiness and joy, whether it's spending time in nature, seeing loved ones, or making food. You can give us a call. Let us know what is bringing you joy right now. You can give us a call, 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733 on your cell phone, star or pound 690. You can email as well, bctoday@cbc.ca. Joining me now is Dr. Diane McIntosh. She's a psychiatrist in Vancouver and a clinical assistant professor at the University of BC. Dr. McIntosh, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'll ask you first, personally, what's bringing you joy right now?
Oh, lots of things bringing me joy.
Good.
My daughter finished her exams, and my cat just removed himself from the office space so that I'm not going to have him involved, and that brings me joy. Lots of good things happening.
Oh, but your cat just getting into the shot would bring me so much joy, though.
Oh, he might be back.
And so for generally for people, how hard can it be this time of year? We're supposed to be, in the holiday spirit. We're supposed to be happy, but that can be challenging. What gets in the way of that?
It really can be a difficult time for some people. And this is one of my favorite times of year, but I'm always aware because of the experiences I've had with friends who have had losses around this time of year, or my patients who sometimes are very lonely or still struggling with illness, that it can be a difficult time of year for some people. And I think that the way that my job in that situation is really to try to help them to think about ways that they might be able to make this time of year a little bit less difficult for them to navigate.
Yes. What are some of those ways just off the bat?
Well, one of the greatest protectors of our mental health is actually social support. And if some of the people that are closest to you are also part of the reason that this season can be difficult, making sure that you know that family can mean different things, not necessarily the family you came from, but close friends or pets can play an important role in that support that you experience. So I think we all have different ideas about what that can mean, but we should not be putting those ideas on other people. Family can mean very different things, and it could be your furry family, or it could be your family of friends or associates that really bring you joy. But making sure that you're around people that care about you, that really value you, is such an important thing at this time of year. And we know loneliness is a major issue in our society right now. So reaching out to people that you think may be isolating also brings joy to you, as volunteering or supporting other people always does.
Yeah, just giving that friendly phone call. And you're so right. Family can come in all different forms. I know that I have my family, of course, but I consider my work family as well. Exactly. And this is because of the kind of support that I get here with my colleagues. So we are asking our audience, give us a call. Let us know, how do you find joy this time of year? And what are the things that you do, the little things you do to brighten up your spirit? You can give us a call, 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733, pound 690 on your cell phone. And Basil is joining us from Vancouver. Hi, Basil.
Hey, good day to you.
Thank you for calling. How do you find joy?
Well, unfortunately, CBC doesn't do it. But another radio, 103.5, does it around anywhere, the late November to Boxing Day, is play lots of Christmas music.
Right.
Not the traditional music you would hear that choirs would sing at church, but more jazzy Christmas music. And it's extremely danceable music. And we ballroom dance to that music any chance we get. But we like to have a wooden floor. So we went to a seniors' Christmas dinner, and there was a little area, and they were singing Christmas songs, jazzy ones, and we got up and danced and had a great time. But we're the only couple amongst 80 people that did it, or one other couple did join us for a little while. But we had great fun, and it's a very danceable ballroom dancing, foxtrot, quick step, jive, swing, and all that stuff.
Yes.
And we had a great time, and it is very danceable. So it's not just the Christmas time, and it brings you Christmas greetings, and you feel get in the mood for celebrating. It allows you to dance with your loved one and have a lovely time and really feel that it gives you the Christmas mood.
I'm going to say, Basil, people listening to CBC Radio right now are getting joy from your call, I will have to say. Now, you said you and your wife dance any moment you can, any chance you get. Do you ever dance at home?
Oh, yeah, we do. Yes, we do. On the carpet. It's not the best, but it's soft.
Oh.
And... it's not that complicated. Ballroom dancing actually is quite easy to learn.
Yeah. How did you get into it?
The thing is you keep to the rhythm of the music, and when you do that, it really kind of ingrates your whole body, and it gives you tremendous amount of joy.
You're moving as well, right?
So you're getting exercise too, and then
all of those things.
You're burning off all that big lots of food we eat at Christmas time. Well, some people are lucky enough to eat it. And it's also, it just lifts your spirit because that music's great dancing music.
Finally, how did you get into ballroom dancing with your wife?
Oh, I started in England when I was 15.
Wow.
And my wife
before marriage, I guess.
Very young, when she was BCIT.
Yeah.
And we just met, and that was something we loved to do together. And it's a really nice way to get up close to your loved one, but it's also fun to do as a group. People just switching partners and just enjoying the main thing is the music, enjoying the music and keeping a rhythm to it. That's where you get the joy from.
Basil, I hope you get to dance many, many more times over this season. Thank you very much for the call.
Thank you a lot. Thanks for the program. Bye then.
Bye-bye. That's Basil in Vancouver. Movement, Dr. McIntosh. The music and the movement. I love it.
That just brought me a lot of joy.
Yes.
I can say thank you, Basil. And it made me think about the Charlie Brown Christmas. I love Michael Bublé's Christmas album. But just on the sciencey side of that, any kind of physical movement is good for your brain. It is a protection for depression and anxiety. So it really only takes about 30 minutes a day of mild to moderate physical activity to actually grow brain cells. So dancing vigorously, as Basil described, would be a way of helping to protect your mood and protect you from anxiety. To me, it's a drug.
You know, I was just, speaking of music and movement, I was just at my son's winter concert, and a lot of it was very jazzy, and I was myself moving in my seat. I might have been the only one, but no matter. It brought me so much joy. Patricia is up next in Nanaimo. We're asking you how you're finding joy right now. We know it's been a heavy and hectic year. Many things in the news give us a heavy heart, but what are you doing to find little moments of brightness? Give us a call, 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733. You can hit pound 690 as well. Email bctoday@cbc.ca. And Patricia is up next in Nanaimo. Hi, Patricia.
Hello there. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Number one, I do definitely agree with the gentleman that was talking about music and moving your body to it. That's something that's good for all of us for multiple reasons. But the main reason I phoned in was I just got back from wheeling my groceries all the way home, and I passed several situations of homelessness. And I got to my home, and I suddenly think, I am so blessed. And sometimes I think we forget what we have rather than, worrying about what we want. But I have a home. I had money to bring the groceries. I had the physical ability to lug it into the home, and I've had to let go of the car, but I've set up a walking area that works well. I have warmth to come into. I have a fridge to put my groceries in, and I'm grinning from ear to ear because I started listening to your program while I was putting my groceries away, and I thought, I'm a happy girl. Why am I happy right now to this extent? And I thought, because I have so much to give thanks for. So that's where I'm finding my joy at this moment.
That is wonderful, Patricia. And those things, right? Putting away groceries sometimes can just be a sort of mindless task, but you put mindfulness into it. And
Yes. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Like seriously, like
yeah.
I just feel so blessed. So thank you for taking my call.
Oh, thank you very much for your call. That's Patricia
All right.
in
Bye.
Nanaimo. You take care. Diane, so there's being thankful as well, but also that continuing consciousness that, of course, there are so many that don't have the same privileges as you.
And I think what Patricia described, this sense of gratitude and how helpful it can be actually when you're not feeling your best, when you're looking at situations that make you feel really sad or distressed, and then trying to conjure up something that you feel really grateful for, it can be extremely helpful. And I know for myself, that was one of the gifts that I've given myself as an adult, is this, I guess, determination that when I am struggling with something, that I'm always trying to think about, but why, what do I have to be grateful for? And when I'm able to think about something, it immediately changes my mood. It helps me to feel better. She also outlined a number of things that are really important as far as the determinants of health. You know, she has a place to live.
Determinants
it's
of
warm.
health,
She can afford to pay for her groceries. All of these things that are really important in your health and well-being that we don't always think about. And she basically listed off what are some of those most important ones in just a few seconds.
That's exactly right. And can we use that as a prompt to help others when it comes to those social and economic determinants of health?
Absolutely. So I think that by talking about those and recognizing how when you have those, first of all, experiencing gratitude about that, but also thinking about how you can give back, whether it's with time or treasure, to help people to be able to have the opportunities to have food and a safe place to live, for instance. Access to healthcare is one of the things that I really work hard on. All of those that we need to express gratitude ourselves that we have access to them, but then also to think about how we can support others. Those things bring joy, taking the time to do that.
Another call now, and in a moment we're going to hear more about a program in Prince George that works with youth to ensure they are able to find joy in the outdoors. Right now, Joan is calling us from Telkwa as we talk about ways to seek joy right now. Hi, Joan.
Hi there.
And what are the things that you're doing?
Well, I find that this holiday time has a lot of emphasis on past and on memories and on family and etc. Well, there's a lot of us who don't have those good memories at all, and I don't. And so rather than thinking of, any past memories, I have to take responsibility for myself now. So I really focus on being here now. And how I do that, I exercise, I get out, my husband and I decorate the house, I do baking. Even with COVID stuff, I'm starting to now revisit people. I really have to be here now and not be in the past. And that keeps me happy.
Joan, what a profound call. A really important one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
You too. That is so important, right? Being present now, and also remembering that many people don't have good memories from their childhood.
One of the important things I think that she mentioned was she doesn't have happy memories. She recognizes that, and that I think is the core of mindfulness, is being able to recognize that you have a sad thought or anxieties or bad memories, and allowing them to flow through you. The way I love to describe it with mindfulness is you let those bad thoughts in the front door and out the back door, but you don't serve them tea. And so what she's doing, she's recognizing she doesn't have those happy memories and allowing them to go through her, but also then to say, I'm going to build new memories. I'm going to do things that I know bring me joy, so that I'm not focused on what I don't have, but actually what I do have and what's to come. And that's very inspiring, and I think really joyful.
That really was very inspiring, Joan, and I think a lot of people will take something from your call. Baking is what she said. What are things that we can do to make sure we are present in the moment and being thankful for what we do have? What are ways that we can do that, Dr. McIntosh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I thought you were making a comment on that. Well, actually, she named a few things. Baking, which I did last week, making sugar cookies, so I was in the moment. But also exercise, again, what she mentioned, being with her husband, decorating, making new memories, I think. Being in the moment means trying not to be distracted by things that are disturbing you, upsetting you, but actually being present with the people that you're with in that moment, listening. And we all struggle with listening sometimes. You know, we're tied to our phones, we're on the internet, we're used to these quick sound bites. So we're not used to actually shutting all of our other thoughts down and listening to the person who's speaking to us, sort of like what I just didn't do, listening to you.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. But when you listen, you actually show that person, first of all, that you're paying attention, that they matter, but also it gives you a chance to reflect on what they've said rather than just reacting. And we know from what's happening on social media, there's a lot of reaction and not a lot of thought and reflection. And so by listening, gives you an opportunity to truly reflect on what the person said and be in the moment.
You've really helped us do that today. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
A very happy holidays to you.
And to you.
Dr. Diane McIntosh is a psychiatrist in Vancouver, clinical assistant professor at the University of BC. As we begin our chat about seeking and finding joy this week, we also asked you about your favorite puzzles and what your strategy was. Our guest was Gwen Shogren, who designed the O Canada crossword, and we got these emails. Katya writes from Smithers, my husband and I love competing in Scrabble, and we are retired and play almost daily. My Aunt Anne is an avid crossword puzzler. The only puzzle I have ever designed was with the names of our 3 generations, the pun spelled family, and it was a gift for my late mother. Melissa wrote, I love puzzles and apparently loved jigsaw puzzles since I was a young kid and still do. Jigsaw, logic, Sudoku rather, but not crosswords. I find them quite difficult, the adult ones at least. Currently, I do Wordle and recently started playing Connections. My favorite, though, is a story from when I was sick. One June, I was pretty alert in the evening, and so I started a puzzle. I remember noticing it was dusk when I started and kept playing. I glanced at the time and how quickly 10:30 p.m. turns to 5:30 a.m. when you're puzzling. Oh my, many hours whiling away doing a puzzle. And Karen wrote us as well. After driving home while listening to your show, I got home to pull out my Christmas puzzle from last year. It was a brand new puzzle, and I thought it was a brilliant design idea. It has 3 different size puzzle pieces so that all different age levels or skill levels can work on the puzzle at the same time. And Joanne writes from Victoria, in recent months, we have been doing crossword puzzles. We're seniors, so thinking this may be something to exercise our brains. Not sure if this will improve our memories, but has helped us remember those times we try to remember a word we don't use every day, and learning some new ones like asps, for example, which is a poisonous snake. Joanne, thank you. And thanks to all of you for writing us. You can always let us know what you think. bctoday@cbc.ca is our email address. Well, in keeping with our theme of finding joy, how about exploring the outdoors? It can be daunting, though, during winter months. Well, the Carrier Sekani Family Services is organizing a program to keep youth active in the winter. It's called their Winter Wellness Program for Youth, and they've just received a $25,000 grant. Amy Merritt is Director of Health and Physical Literacy for Carrier Sekani Family Services, and Dana Thorne is the Physical Literacy Coordinator. They join me now. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to speak with you both. Thanks so much for joining us. You're developing this program together. Amy, why is it needed?
Well, thank you for inviting us on the program today. Data in my program is new with Carrier Sekani, and we're really derived from feedback from the 11 member nations that Carrier Sekani Family Services provides services to. We're part of the health department, and when we're looking at health, we really look at holistic health and what that means. So while we have our nurses and doctors to provide that necessary service, we also want to have the physical wellness, the spiritual wellness, and the emotional wellness for people of all ages. And with the Rogers Grant, our goal is to provide ongoing winter recreational activity for our First Nation member nations who we provide service to. So, in Prince George, we have our hockey rinks, our pools, various other, recreational opportunities for young people. And in our very, very remote communities could be, 7 hours away and definitely no access to the amenities that we often take for granted here, whether it be, like I said, the hockey rinks or even sledding and things like that. So really, with our program, we want to reduce barriers for people to access opportunities for physical activity, socialization in their own communities, and provide the tools that are needed for them to enjoy those experiences.
Wow, I can imagine how important that would be. And Dana, what can youth do then, just in general, to keep active in winter months?
Well, there's quite a few things, and we really like to focus on kind of those classic winter activities. So what we are trying to bring to our communities, first and foremost, providing that gear and those tools that they need to be able to enjoy it. So to make sure that they have warm weather gear, the snow pants, the jacket, gloves, the hats, the boots. Without those things, it's really hard to enjoy sledding outside in -15. And then, of course, providing those other tools, ice skates and snowshoes, and like we could do ice fishing and like I said, the sledding, or even just fort building, snow sculptures, snow painting. All of those things are a lot of fun and bring a lot of joy.
Yes,
So
I'm getting joy just from you describing it. And what difference do you think it may make for youth, Amy?
Well, when we look at youth nowadays, there's definitely the increase of screen time and social media activity. And so for youth, it provides an opportunity of getting outside, being active, but just not the activity piece. It's the socialization piece. It's the self-esteem piece. It's then the health piece. It's introducing a new activity to children and youth that they may have not experienced before. It's recognizing the strengths and the beauty of the territories where we're fortunate enough to work. There's beautiful landscape. We can do hiking, snowshoeing, those kind of things. So it's about connecting recreational activities with the gifts that we already have in community, connecting youth with their culture, and providing just the holistic piece. So it's not just about we're going skating, we're going to learn to skate. It's about getting out and connecting with other kids, getting out of the house, moving our bodies. And the other important thing is we're providing snacks and things like that. So we're taking care of the nutritional piece, which is so important to be active. You have to provide nutrition for your body, for your mind. So again, to use the word holistic again, it really is encompassing that philosophy when we're providing those services for these kids. And then, maybe it's introducing them to a sport like hockey that they haven't experienced before. It's a very expensive activity. So if we're providing at least the equipment and then as well the transportation, things like that, it's giving the opportunity for kids to experience a sport and an activity that they may otherwise not have had the opportunity to.
It sounds wonderful. Thanks so much to both of you for joining us and telling us about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy Merritt is Director of Health and Physical Literacy for the Carrier Sekani Family Services. Dana Thorne is the Physical Literacy Coordinator. It's 12:31 now, 1:31 in the Mountain Time Zone. You're with BC Today. And coming up, we'll hear more about the Ovaltine Cafe reopening in Vancouver. And we'll ask you on our pets column, do you love dressing up your pets for the holidays? It does depend on who you ask. We want to hear your thoughts on that. That's coming up after the CBC News Update with Rob Zimmerman.
Good afternoon. The federal government has agreed to a funding deal that will fast-track the construction of more than 3,200 new homes here in Vancouver over the next 3 years. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made the announcement this morning here in Vancouver. The federal government will provide almost $115 million from its Housing Accelerator Fund under the agreement. Transit workers in the Comox Valley and Campbell River are now on strike. Talks between the union and the employer broke down earlier this week. The strike is affecting all service except Handy Dart trips for medical appointments. And Rogers Sugar says it's pausing negotiations with the union representing striking workers at the Vancouver refinery after the union rejected the company's latest offer. The union says the major sticking point remains the same, the company's proposal to increase operations to 24 hours a day. And now the forecast. Snowfall warnings are in place for McGregor and inland sections of the Central Coast. On the North Coast, periods of rain this afternoon with a high of 3, highs to 3 with a mix of sun and cloud in the Peace. In the Central Interior, periods of snow this afternoon with a high of +1, highs to 0 and cloudy in the Kootenays. In the Southern Interior, cloudy with a high of 2. And for Metro Vancouver, Greater Victoria and the Fraser Valley, a mix of sun and cloud this afternoon with highs around 8 degrees. I'll have more local news at the top of the hour. Now back to Michelle with BC Today.
Rob, thank you very much.
Sure.
Rob Zimmerman in the CBC Vancouver newsroom. Randy, by the way, wrote us an email about seeking joy, having just returned from a 10-day stay at Burnaby General, the first 4 in the ER. I'm not really about joy for myself. I can vouch for the incredible skills and efforts given to all people injured by the team here. So shout out to Kaylee and her team for allowing so many people to live long enough to experience some joy. What a thoughtful email, Randy, and all the best in your recovery as well. Thanks for that. It is 12:33, 1:33 in the Mountain Time Zone. You're with BC Today here. We're on CBC Radio 1, 88.1 FM in Metro Vancouver, live streaming as well. You can find us on YouTube, CBC Vancouver, or you can use the CBC News app. Well, back in June, a very popular cafe in Vancouver's downtown Eastside neighborhood was forced to shut down after a fire. The Ovaltine Cafe is a nostalgic 1940s-style diner serving all-day breakfast, burgers, and sandwiches. Now, the fire in June started in the back alley and ripped through the restaurant. It damaged the kitchen and cut the power. Well, today, the Ovaltine Cafe reopened to the delight of the local neighborhood, and our Lian Young is there right now. Hi, Lian.
Hi, Michelle.
I can see you're by the window there, the Ovaltine Cafe in neon lights, a sign that says now open, a Merry Christmas sign as well. Tell us where you are. Describe the scene.
You are very observant. You know, I'm right here in front of the Ovaltine Cafe on East Hastings Street, just off of Main. And as you point out, the neon signs are back on. I think I count 5 of them here around the front entrance. And there's a whole bunch of sandwich boards all saying now open. Thank you to the community for your support. And I can tell you, I can still smell the beautiful scent of sage in the air. Just about 20 minutes ago, there was a group of Indigenous warrior women, they call themselves. They were drumming. They were saying prayers to welcome the Ovaltine Cafe and their reopening. They're just really celebrating today as a big moment. And I feel like I have to take you inside to show you the cafe, because as you say,
Yes.
1940s style diner, and nothing has much changed in here.
Beautiful
Okay, I'm gonna
red
come
door
on in
there.
and you can see it with me.
Lian is going in.
Yes, the beautiful red door. Yep, and then as I'm in here now, you can see, you know, the wood on the walls are still, you know, it has some age to it.
It's
and
kept that
the
vibe,
iconic,
hey?
bar seats here at the counter. Oh my goodness, has it ever? It feels like not much has really changed in this room since it's been open since 1943, I believe. So 80 years they've been celebrating.
Wow.
And yeah, it's really a day of celebration. And as you come in here I can smell the aromas of lots of people having breakfast still around noon. I know it's noon, but the burgers over there, sandwiches, and, you know, people drifting out in and out. And the mood in here and the vibe is very relaxed, kind of like how laid back the rest of this community is.
Well, tell us, I see the bar stools there, right? The leather red bar stools along the bar. Lian, tell us why the community cared so much. What is the love for this cafe in that community, in that neighborhood?
Yeah, and talking to people here, there are very few places, not only on the downtown east side, but really in Vancouver, where there are accessible and affordable spots where you could come to actually, grab a bite. Their menus here, I took a look. You can order a burger here for $10.99, includes either fries, soup, or a salad. I'm not sure what kind of other spots you can find around the Lower Mainland where you can still find those prices.
Right.
And that's a very key part of how the Ovaltine Cafe operates, is to try to keep it accessible for the people who come through this community. And everyone that's come through here says the space feels like it's family. Yes, come on in, sorry. That it feels like it's for family. And Grace, the owner here, has been the owner for the last 10 years. She likes to try and greet people at the door. Everybody that has been coming in has been saying, "Hi, Grace, so nice to have you back." There are hugs, there are cheers. So, and the word that keeps getting repeated is that it feels like family and it feels like community in here.
Wow, and what a lovely thing for them to hear. Thank you so much, Leanne. Great to see you there, and we'll look forward to more of your reports.
You're welcome, Michelle.
That's Leanne Young, CBC reporter and anchor. 12:38 now, 1:38 in the Mountain Time Zone. Nice to have that cafe back there. Well, one more thing that gives us joy, of course, is our pets. We heard from Dr. Diane McIntosh, right? Pets can be our family as well. And for some of us, that means we like to dress them up for the holidays. We're asking for your thoughts on that and your stories as well. Do you dress up your pets or not? Love to hear from you. You can call us 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733. You can hit pound 690 on your cell phone. By email, we're bctoday@cbc.ca. And, our own team here at CBC, many are pet lovers and pet parents. So we have some photos as well that we'll be showing you. They're from Rachel and Melody and Amy Bell and her dog Bruce, George and his dog Eden. They were very excited and jumped at the chance to be able to share photos of their lovely, lovely dogs. You can email us too. If you want to send us a photo of your dog dressed up for the holidays, send us one in landscape format, so horizontal, so we can show them perhaps on the show next week. bctoday@cbc.ca is our email address. Nobody ever passes up a chance to show off a photo of their dog, do they? Joining me now is Kelly Argue, who's a dog trainer at the Pack Training, and she's waving at us from, you're in a van, Kelly?
I'm in the dog van. I drive around with 10 dogs in my van all day. I use my dogs to train other dogs. So they're all back there. You can see little Tommy, who's up for adoption through PB&G. And then if I could move my camera around, I got...
Oh my goodness. Okay, tell us about him or her.
Oh, this is Beans. So Beans was my first small dog that I had in my pack. I don't know if you know, but I have 13 dogs. I'm a totally normal person doing totally normal person things. And Beans was my first small dog. She doesn't like to be held. She likes to sit on her throne over here. And she's actually the dog that got my rescue started. I got her from the Chihuahua Rescue and Referral of Washington. And I was just a normal person doing normal things. And they were like, "You're great. You should do dog rescue." And the rest is history.
Oh,
so
wow.
If it wasn't for her, there would be no PB&G.
Oh my goodness. And so this is how it all began. And I see
she's the originator.
She's the OG. And so Beans is dressed up in a sweater as well, a striped black and white sweater.
This sweater is worth more than my jacket. We got it at the Good Boy Collective, and she's adorable. It's got a little collar on it. Now, she loves clothes. Like, I bring clothes out, and she goes, "Put me in it. I want to be stylish." She's probably the only dog in my pack that enjoys putting clothes on, so she's really the only one that wears them.
Kelly Argue is my guest right now, and she's a dog behavior specialist, a dog trainer. And we're asking you can give us a call. Let us know, do you dress up your dog, your cat, your pet in holiday wear or not? Are you against it? Let us know. And then people can tell from their pets' reactions too, right? So you can let us know how your pets feel about it. 1-800-825-5950. 604-669-3733. You can hit pound 690 on your cell phone. If you'd like to email us, bctoday cbc.ca is our email address. And so, Kelly, you said, right, Beans, which is an adorable name, Beans loves dressing up. Your other dogs don't. How can people tell?
First and foremost, if you bring the clothes out and show it to them and they run, I do think that that's kind of a really easy indicator.
Small sign.
Or you might see them kind of shut down. Remember, the dogs are going to do things to please us and make us happy, and sometimes they do things that they don't want to. So if you have a dog that you bring the clothes out and they kind of curl in and slink down and are kind of the same way of like when you put a jacket on a kid over their Halloween costume, they're like, I'll tolerate it, but I'm not happy.
Right.
You then have, I know plenty of people who have dogs that love putting clothes on, but there's other dogs of mine that just make it very, the minute the clothes go on, they just kind of sit there like taking their class photo and they're miserable. Meanwhile, this chick is like, let's go out the door. I got to show people this outfit. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
So, I mean, body language is huge. Remember, dogs can't communicate with their voice, so they're going to communicate with their body. So that's a really easy way to tell is if they go, then they don't really like it.
What impact could it have if you kind of forced it on a dog and they did not want it?
Well, that's a absolutely perfect point where, I mean, I feel that when you're forcing something on a dog that they're not enjoying, or if they're doing it to placate you, you're kind of tearing down the trust in the relationship that you have with your dog. That may start to cycle into other things. I don't want to say that you can completely ruin your dog's relationship with you by putting clothes on them, but it starts to snowball a bit, just in the sense of if you're forcing clothes on them, then, they don't have decisions and other things in their mind. And again, I like things to be consensual with my dogs, is, whether it's we're going on a long walk, whether do you want to put a jacket on, any of those things involve, do you want to do this? And I give my dogs a time to process and let me know. And if they say, hey, I don't want to go this way on the walk, I'm done, I want to go home, I'll go home with them. Same thing of, this clothing is making me uncomfortable. Excellent, I will take it off of them, because I want things to be, there's a trust relationship that's really important with your animals.
I'm sure it is. And that's going to affect, other parts of your relationship for sure. Okay. Yeah. And so, is part of this as well keeping your dogs warm? Like, is that part of dressing them up?
So there is absolutely a factor of that, because Beans is a little short-haired Chihuahua from Mexico. I have many pit bulls because I run a pit bull rescue, so they're kind of all muscle, short hair. So when we get into that time of year that we're already kind of in, where it's freezing cold and pouring rain, or even if it's snowing, I do think that there is benefits to having that additional layer. And I mean, safety wise too, because dogs can get frostbite, especially on their pads. You want to watch out for that. The booties, we all make the joke of how hilarious those videos are, but up here in Vancouver, there's salt everywhere. I mean, salt's already out there, and that can damage your dog's paws. So getting them desensitized to clothing for the winter can be an absolute necessity for some dogs. Meanwhile, I have a Caucasian Shepherd that I swear has 3 coats of fur. And if I tried to put a jacket on him, he wants to sleep out in the snow. He's built for it. So if you have a double coated dog, just remember that they have built-in insulation and they don't necessarily need a jacket.
Okay. And so practically speaking, we want to hear from people too. Do you have any questions about that? What are ways to keep your dogs warm, if that's what you're trying to do when it comes to dressing them up? And what about cats? What can we think about when it comes to keeping them warm?
Cats are a beast of a different color, so to speak. I have yet to see a cat that I truly think is thriving with outfits on. I see some that tolerate it, and I mean, I've seen some online. I've never met a cat in person that seemed to enjoy wearing clothing. But I think cats are different than dogs in the fact that cats don't do things just to please you. So if they really don't like an outfit, I think you're going to get scratched or bitten, or there's going to be a whole fiasco, unlike dogs that'll just go, okay, I'll take it. So cats will probably let you know pretty easily if they like something or not.
Okay. Yeah. There's no ambiguity there. You'll be able to tell.
No, they do not. They don't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah. Let's put out our phone numbers once again. We are asking you, do you dress up your dogs for the holidays? Your cats, your pets? Is that something that you like to do? You know, take the photo and put it on social media, or is that your Christmas card that you share with people? Or do you feel that your pet is staunchly against it? They show you all the signs. We would love to hear from you. 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733. You can hit pound 690 on your cell phone as well. Our email is bctoday@cbc.ca. And if it's something about the holidays, perhaps, if dressing up for the holidays stresses out your pet, is there something that you'd like to know about? Because we do have a behavior specialist here as well, so you can ask your questions about ways to kind of reduce the stress, right? Because if it's stressful for us, it's probably stressful for our pets too. So you can call in with those questions as well. And Kelly, what are those things that can stress out our furry friends when we're in the throes of the holiday season?
The holiday season is extremely stressful for pets for the most part. If nothing else, when you have that time off, your routine has changed. And dogs especially thrive on routine. They love to know every morning we wake up at 8 o'clock and then I'm outside for pee at 8:30 and then breakfast is in the bowl at 9. So, that Christmas morning where even that timing is thrown off, or there's additional people in the house, or there's music playing and there's all this chaos. It's definitely a holiday that I come from a foundation of rescue, and this time of year is always the most stressful for us with our fosters and our newly adopted dogs, because it's so chaotic. And if nothing else, you usually have family coming in or neighbors coming over or way more people in your house that you're used to, and it's just that whole shift of everything kind of throws dogs off. And not to mention, we have a tendency to be like, oh, it's Grandma Joe, Grandpa Joe and Grandma, so-and-so. And we're more lively and we're more outgoing, and people are drinking more. And dogs definitely have a different reaction towards people when they are not sober. So the chaos of the holidays has a tendency to really throw dogs off, especially all pets in general. But the biggest piece of advice that I could give anybody to set up their dogs for success, because that's the biggest rule that I say as a dog trainer, is never put your dog in a position where they have the option to make a bad decision, because we have so many animals that might nip somebody, bite somebody during the holidays, jump up and knock somebody over. People are bringing kids over. So why are we even putting them in those positions, right? Why do they need to be in the middle of everything? So first and foremost, most important rule is give your dog a safe space to go to. Ideally, if they're crate trained, that would be awesome, because a dog can go into its crate and still be a part of everything without being in the middle of it all. But even if you have to help them go into another room, maybe they go into your bedroom, maybe they go into an office, just little timeouts, because I always remind people that dogs process things like toddlers. And just like toddlers, they can get overstimulated, they can get grumpy, they can get cranky. So when they're sitting there for 3 hours with all the family and the music playing and the food and the presents coming in and out, that's a lot of stimulation. So giving them a break from that is the first way to set them up for success.
Oh, wow. What a great bit of advice. My guest is Kelly Argue, dog trainer at the Pack Training. We're asking you about the holidays, and specifically, do you dress up your pet in holiday costume, holiday wear, or is that something you just don't agree with? Do you get signals from your pets when it comes to that? Love to hear from you. 1-800-825-5950.
What is happening?
604-669-3733. I think Kelly's having some technical issues there, but let's take a call here while we fix that from our end. And Juice is on the line in Vancouver. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Juice. Thanks very much for calling. I'm hoping that Kelly can hear you. I'm not sure she can at the moment, but if not, I will try to paraphrase and rephrase your question. But to tell us about your own, you have 2 dogs?
I have 2 dogs. I've got a rescue from Korea. He's about 6 years old, and we recently welcomed a Aussie Shepherd puppy, and she's about 6 months old. Now, my rescue has been wearing clothes since the day I got him, not in the summer, obviously, but he loves wearing hoodies. They make him feel comfortable and safe. and to help him with his anxiety. And my partner, who I met after I had my dog for a couple of years, is staunchly against dressing up animals. He thinks it's ridiculous. Our new puppy will never be wearing clothes, even in the rain, so we have to deal with wet fur smell all day long. But my one question is, last winter was quite a bit of snow and ice and salt, and even my dog, who wears hoodies and sweaters and loves it, we could not figure out how to get him comfortable with the booties, with wearing any kind of footwear. And we do want to make sure that his paws, he does get very sensitive when we were trying to take him for walks, and we had to take him for quite short walks. And as much as he loves the snow, his feet get very, very cold. He's only 17 pounds. And so I'm wondering how I can get him to accept wearing footwear and not, have an issue with it, because I do want to protect his feet.
Absolutely. And we just heard from Kelly how that can be important, right? And this is your rescue from Korea that you're asking about, right?
Yeah, he's about 6 years old, and he's pretty good on the anxiety now, but he has some, he had a rough life before he got to me, so.
And what breed is he, Juice?
He is a Jindo Shiba Inu with a little bit of Shar-Pei. He's a kind of a crazy mix, but he's mostly Jindo Shiba Inu.
Okay, and so your 6-year-old, I think Kelly can hear now, 6-year-old rescue from Korea, loves dressing up, wearing clothes, and helps with his anxiety, but it's the booties. Yeah. You're trying to find out how to get him to wear those booties to protect his feet. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thanks for sharing with us, too, the debates you have in your own household over whether to dress up your pets or not. Well, Kelly is here now, so let's put your question to her. Thanks so much for the call. Yes, Kelly, I think you heard the last bit of that. She would like ways to...
Actually, they kind of tie into each other, because I heard the Belgian Malinois, was it a Malinois or a Belgian Shepherd?
Shepherd, yes.
Yeah, they made a really good point that I didn't touch on, and thanks for the reminder. I have ADHD, so sometimes I flitter off. But if anyone's heard of a Thunder shirt, it's actually a compression style vest that is used for dogs for anxiety. And in the same way that we're understanding how weighted blankets help with neurodivergency and calming people down that are on the spectrum, that same effect can go on to pets, especially anxious ones. So exactly what she said about the Jindo, that can absolutely work for dogs too. Is just the weight of having something that's a little bit compression can absolutely help with anxiety. So not all clothes are bad. I'm not saying that it, if the dog doesn't like it, sometimes having that alternative effect is positive of having something it's a swaddle.
Right.
And her specific question was she was struggling with the booties.
That's right.
Yeah. So the booties take time. A lot depends on the type of booties that you get. There's a lot of varieties out there. I like the ones that go up a bit higher on the dog's leg and have double Velcro. I know that I think it's PetSmart sells one. But again, up higher, and that way not one shake and then they pop off, but doing them one at a time and doing lots and lots of treats. So my favorite thing is you get one booty on, nice and slow, take your time, don't rush it, set that time aside. I always say when you're conditioning something, do not have a time limit on it, because it might take your dog 15 minutes to get comfortable with you putting one booty on, and you don't want to rush that. Once that's on, we're bringing out the high value treats and we're making it a very positive experience. Once they understand that they get these treats when the booty's on, then I play a little game where I sit on the ground, they have the booty on, and then I'll start adding more and more, and I'll throw the treat back and forth across my lap so they have to hop over or run around me. So it gets them used to the sensation while playing a little game for high value treats.
Right. Oh my goodness. So they again associate that positive experience with wearing the boot.
Yeah.
Genius. We have
and then just going slow.
Email from Dawn in Ladysmith, who actually is also writing about a Shiba Inu, a breed that is very
similar. I just worked with one. My last session before this conversation was a Shiba.
Okay, a breed that is very similar to cats in attitude. I tried to dress him.
I call them cat dogs.
Cat/dogs. Yeah. I tried to dress him once. It broke him. I do have a selection of bow ties that fit on his collar for different occasions. Okay, so taking it, just a little step. He looks like a distinguished gentleman. I'm going to have to see a picture, Dawn. Thank you very much. One last call here from Amy in Revelstoke. Hi, Amy. What do you think of dressing up your dog?
Hi. Yeah, no. I think it all depends on the dog and their own personality. If they enjoy it, then definitely go with it. Also, if you live in an area where, you don't really want wet dog smell in your house, a jacket can definitely help with that if you're in a snowy or rainy area.
Right.
I have a 120-pound dog, and he's not one that you usually think about putting a coat on or boots on, but he absolutely loves it. When you pull it out to get him all dressed up and ready to go, his tail is wagging, and he knows he gets to go on a fun adventure.
Wow. And I mean, you're in Revelstoke. I'm sure you get to have lots of snowy adventures.
Exactly, yeah. And he loves to roll around in it too, so it's definitely nice to not have to dry him off as much.
Yes, I bet. And you're a dog trainer yourself, Amy?
Yes, I am. I've been in and around dogs my entire life, and decided to start my business here this summer, and it's been going pretty good. And I just have a really big passion for dogs and training and behavior, and it's something that's fun and exciting, and anybody can do it.
Wonderful to hear. Amy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Kelly, what a thrill, a treat, if you will, to talk to you today. Thanks so much. I hope we get to speak again.
Absolutely. This was awesome. I'm happy to help, and everybody have a happy holidays and keep your pets safe.
And to you. And thanks for joining us in your dog van there. That's Kelly Argue, who's a dog trainer at the Pack Training. You're with BC Today here on CBC. That's our show today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to everyone who called in and joined our discussion. Loved hearing about the joy in your life and about dressing up your pets as well. Thanks to our team here on the show: Rachel Adams, Melody Jacobson, George Baker, Alan Regan, Greg Kisser, Mark Fairfield, Bradley Stewart, Eric Pankratz, and Mel Carter. Thanks to Megan Zwick and Amber Parmar and David Jones. I'm Michelle Eliot. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back with you on Monday.